Right, so today is D-Day or ID Day, so I'm off to Ilford actually to collect our ID Buzz. I'm just getting a lift with my wife Anna to the train station. So she's dropping me at Rugby train station. I'm going from Rugby into London and then the train out to Ilford to meet with the dealer to collect our ID Buzz. So I ordered this ID Buzz so long ago, I can't really remember a lot about it. I can't remember what spec it is. I remember it's lime yellow, which might be a massive mistake, but we'll see later on. So I was hoping to get this ID Buzz before Christmas, but there was just huge delays everywhere, and it kind of kept on being delayed and delayed. I kept chasing VW and they kept telling me it's a port, it's a German port, it's a UK port, VW aren't releasing them, they're stuck with loads of people's other ID Buzzes that aren't making their way over to us or able to collect yet. There was an original launch date that seemed to be delayed, but anyway, today's the big day. Last I heard, they were held up because there was a shortage of VW badges. So there you go. Got a little bit of range anxiety. So they say that they do 250 miles in the right temperatures. The temperature now is, do you know, did it say that?
9.5 degrees.
9.5 degrees, so not terribly cold. But a few videos I've seen since have kind of stated that, I don't know, you might struggle to get anywhere near that. So I think with me going to Wheel Pros, I've got about a 160 mile trip back. I spoke to Dave at VW, he's promised me it's fully charged, so it should say 250-ish when I get there, and let's see if we make it back, because I looked at the charging network and there isn't anything immediately obvious en route on the way back up the A14. So yeah, follow me on the journey, let's see if we make it back tonight. I'm sure we will, and let's get it collected and go and see the guys at Wheel Pros and pick up some new sexy wheels. Right, so here it is, very yellow, isn't it? So I'm at JCB Crawley. So I couldn't remember what spec I ordered, but clearly I can see from the badge on the side, it's the first edition. So this is lime yellow, I think it's called. So the reason why I ordered this colour is because I thought nobody else would. And also this is the same colour I think they do in the Golf GTI or the Golf R or something, and it seems to work really well on that. So I think we'll be able to make this look pretty. Anybody that's worked with me or known me for a while or read my comments will know I'm heavily dyslexic. So I messed up a little bit here. So in my planning of where we were going, got my locations mixed up, and I'm in Ifield. Well, that's Ifield train station. It's literally the other side of that bridge. And I somehow thought I was in Ilford, going to Ilford. Booked the right train ticket, but hadn't planned my Google journey home. So actually, I thought I had about 150 miles via Wheel Pros. Turns out from Ifield, or from where I am, Crawley, it's 200 miles.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
So can I get back on one charge is what we'll see. So Wheel Pros guys have told me that there is a charge station near them. So we're going to head there and then see if I trust the range on this. I've just got in it, it says it's got 301 miles on it at 99% charge. Now I'm told they do 250, so we'll see. If this can get me 200 miles home, I'll be very pleased. If not, we're going to panic and try and find a stop along the way. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I definitely prefer the solid one colour over the two-tone. I like the yellow, I like the fact it's bright. There's a black one here somewhere. Yeah, just there. That looks nice and all black. That was what I wanted to order originally, but you couldn't get the spec I wanted, so that's why I ended up with the yellow. But I don't think it'll take a lot to make this look pretty. The seats inside, I'm not sure about. You're limited with the choice, I think, back when I ordered this. And if you had certain colours, you had certain colours inside. A little bit garish, a little bit loud and leery. White steering wheel I really like. How long it stays that white we'll see. In the back here, I can't actually remember all the differences in all the spec and what you got for the first edition and all the other ones, but then I seem to remember some of them having electronic sliding doors. This doesn't. It doesn't have electronic tailgate, but I shan't moan. Probably me being tight when I ordered it, but it's got 11 miles on it, 99% charge, and it says it's got 300 miles range left in it. So anyway, I'm going to go and head in and meet Dave, finish off all the paperwork and set on my way to Wheel Pros. So I had a bit of a rundown with Dave. He showed me roughly the way around and how to use some of the controls and stuff. A better understanding of the whole drive and braking mode.
Left on.
Yeah, it's strange. When you've got it in B for brake, it brakes itself. It's like one pedal braking. Got those interesting pause and play button pedals, which I think I ordered as an extra. I quite like it. I think it's interesting. So the goal is to try and get 200 miles without any charge. So I'll let you know how that goes. I won't record the whole trip just because that'd be boring, just watching my face while I'm driving along. And I'm stressing, I'm flapping a little bit because I'm pushing it for time to go and meet James at Wheel Pros to pick up the wheels for this and a few of the toys. wheelpros we've been working on with those guys. You know, going back to the whole, you know, being electric thing, and I had a Tesla before and charging networks are everywhere. It does make you a little nervous. There's a little bit of range anxiety because you know when you set off in a combustion engine that you're always going to find a petrol station. I had a quick look on the route on the way home. There's nothing obvious that's charging points. There must be, but I think you need that iConnect thing to get it working. And we just couldn't get it to log in. It just wouldn't seem to connect. No matter how many times we tried a software update and all that, but it's delayed me a bit. So today hasn't really gone to plan. So I'm not going to Wheelpros. There was a delay on the train because there was a medical emergency, unfortunately, and that we had to stop at Milton Keynes for half an hour while they got ambulances on. Apparently everybody's fine, but that delayed the whole process to get to Ifield, to get to Crawley to VW. Then we couldn't get there. I couldn't connect the system all set up. So by the time we did all that, I set in the directions to go over to Wheelpros, and it was going to be too late. I wasn't going to get there till gone 6. I spoke to James at Wheelpros, and he's very kindly offered to deliver my new wheels tomorrow. So hopefully he'll come up with them tomorrow, and we can show you more about them. Just wanted to give you a bit of an update on the drive so far. So according to all the information I've got in front of me, I've done 62 miles so far, getting 2.9 kilowatt hours. Sorry, I've been driving for 2 hours and a minute, and I've averaged 32 miles an hour, partly because I've been on the M25. I have to say, in this period of time, I've grown to love it more and more, actually. I felt like an excited little schoolboy at one point. I could feel myself smiling, and that's because it actually is a pleasure to drive. And the things I thought that I didn't like in the very small time I've driven it, actually being stuck on the M25 has probably been a blessing, because I've had a chance to kind of get used to and understand the controls. I actually quite like the haptic feedback buttons now. I like the adaptive cruise, which is the same as the other VWs, and how on the M25 it detects the drop in speed and changes all that. I like the display. I like how user friendly it is. I've had a chance to sit and play with that for quite a while because we've been sat still. I might pull up with some services soon and try and get that connection, the ID connected working. I think that would be a really important addition for you being comfortable with your charging. One thing I did notice is while fiddling with it, I put the heating up to full blast, didn't need the heat. I was just testing it, and the range absolutely disappeared. It went from like 250 to 150. So when the heating on, I thought the heating was going to be on, so quickly switched it back to a comfortable 22 degrees, and it shot straight back up again. So currently, it says I've got 192 miles and I've got 70 miles to go. So I think it's been fairly accurate. I'm driving an eco, but that's also I've been stuck in slow traffic because M25 traffic. Put a telephone call into my wife on the Bluetooth just to let her know my route home, and she didn't realise I was on the Bluetooth. She was really clear and crisp, and I guess that's a lot down to the fact that again, I don't know if anybody's got a transporter, even my T6.1 that's soundproof to hell. If you're going down the motorway at 70 mile an hour, it sounds like you're in a van. Nowhere near as bad as they used to be, but they're not as clear as that. And it's the sound of the engine and the tyre noise and everything. But it was really quiet, really clear. It was really clear this end, it was really clear Anna's end. And listening to the stereo, I've done my usual, listened to a bit of Joe Rogan, really nice and crystal clear. Listened to a bit of drum and bass, again sounds alright, just doesn't sound as good as my T6.1. Definitely something on the list of things that we're going to work on for modification. These is improving the audio. It's really comfortable to drive. The seating position is nice. The seats themselves are comfortable. It feels high, but then I'm used to a really lowered van. It feels a bit wallowy, but again, it's to be expected because it's the standard suspension. That can definitely be improved upon. It has all the lighting system in the dash and down the doors, which you can change the brightness and change the colours and stuff. Not a lot goes with this yellow, really. Like the blues and the turquoises and reds and stuff just look odd. It's kind of set on an orange at the minute. Very much like the T7, that has that as well, and it all is a very nice finish and a nice detail. There's little things you can, just an obvious evolution of things like the control to change your mirrors. It's less clunk 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 like a transporter is. You can tell you've changed from one mirror to another to adjust it, but it's more smooth and almost like a digital kind of feel. There are charging points absolutely everywhere. There's a wireless charging point right in front of me here, I'm told, and I've put my phone in there trying to figure out whether it does charge, but I can't figure out how to get it to charge. But it might be one of those ones where you have to fiddle around or activate it or something, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be charging that phone anyway. So far, 65 miles in, I'm impressed a lot. Yeah, I'm going to go to a services and have another walk around and just film a few more clips and show you more about it. But all in all so far, charging the mobile device. There you go, found the sweet spot. It is charging. Sorry to just waffle on about random stuff, but stuff I'm noticing as I go along. But yeah, I'm going to crack on, get to a services, get a bite to eat, and have a bit more of a walk around outside and have a bit more of a study of it, because we were in such a rush when I got to VW. Right, I've just had to stop off at a services to get a cable actually. I've got two mobile phones and I can get neither of them to charge in the wireless charging port, so I thought I'd stop and get a cable, which works great but a little bit annoying. No matter what you do, you put your phone in that charging port and it kind of recognises it's connected and then it disconnects it again. And I've tried both without covers, but we have a Caddy Mark 5 at THQ and that's exactly the same. I don't know what VW are doing there, but that's really quite annoying. If we can't fix it, I might put a Rock wireless charger or something here, because I do like the idea of a wireless charger so you don't have to have phones constantly. Now you have wireless CarPlay, it just doesn't really make sense to have cables. But I mean, there's loads of cable ports, USB-C everywhere. There's two there, there's more in the back. But anyway, I thought I'd just show you through some stuff that I've discovered again while driving along and I like. Courtesy light's quite bright, so that's helping. So here's your control. There's various different display screens you can have, but this one that is set at now, I like the fact there's two displays actually. This display gives you loads of information, so I just thought I'd show you where I'm at so far. So I've done 79 miles, 3 miles kilowatt hour. I've been driving for 2 hours 45 minutes and my average speed is 30 miles an hour, and that's partly down to the fact that I've been on the M25 and on the M1 in city slow traffic. So I couldn't get the ID Connect to connect at VW, but I thought while I was sitting here and have a play, and it's connected straight away. I did notice when we were going through the menu originally, it said somewhere in the small print, you must do this after the vehicle's been delivered. So I don't know whether they have to press something at VW end so they know that I've got the car and taken it away before it works. Plugged my phone in, went through the settings, scanned the little QR code that it comes up with two different points, and it just connected my phone straight away. I still don't really know what that actually does, which I'm sure I will figure out, but not right now. You know, it's brought up my details and you can have another user and I don't know, synchronized data. I'll have a play with that later, but it's all in there and connected and fine now. Bluetooth and everything's connected easy straight away. The beauty, I think, as Dave was telling me at JCB, when you've got the app, you can now turn your car on in the morning, set your heating to come on, set your heated seats to come on and stuff like that, so it's ready to go in the cold weather, which is just a really nice little feature. I had that on my Tesla and I did really like it because I'm an old man and I like a warm seat on the way to work in the cold weather. But anyway, flicking through these settings here seems to pick up your finger sense and your finger movement really well. All the settings are really easy to understand. All the light settings, and you know, you can change all these, you'll see there, blue, red, and change the brightness and stuff, and various different lighting, and I actually really like it. Sets a really nice mood in the vehicle while you're driving. There's like a Night Rider style thing that it does here when you lock and unlock it as well. The vehicle settings, you can change it all here, tells you all loads of information. The T6.1 does very similar if you've got the higher spec one, but you know, it'd be nice if this was yellow actually to match the vehicle, but there you go, that's just me being dead fussy. There's loads of nice settings you can change. You can change things that I find great and really annoying about some vehicles is you can change it so when you unlock the vehicle it unlocks all 4 doors instead of just one, if that's something you want to do. Various different mirror settings, you know, whether you want them to fold when locking and other bits, and lowering. Interior, notice some nice features in there. In the cockpit, so you can make the seats move backwards and forwards when you open and close the door. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to spin you through how easy that is. You know, your CarPlay is all there, very easy to use. You know, your Spotify and your Apple Maps and everything are all there. It's dead easy to use. The phone system and it's really easy to use. Doing really well on range actually. I have to put the address back in, but still got 72 miles left. Still got 67 miles in 67% battery. So this was charged 100%. So I think generally same with everything. I know my Tesla was the same. They recommend you just charge to 80% on your daily use, and you can charge to 100 if you need to do a longer run. It's just better for the battery. So one of the features you can have in here is it detects if you're coming back to the vehicle. So keyless entry, keyless use obviously. There's nowhere to put a key, although there is a start stop button just here. Not that you ever need to use it, because it just does it when you initiate drive. What I've always been uncomfortable with keyless entry is I don't like the fact that if it unlocks when I walk towards it, you don't really know. You kind of got nervous when you walk away. You're like, did it lock or not? You listen out for the sound of a lock, or you know, Mercedes and stuff beep. But this actually, well, I'll show you what it does actually. Now it's really nice the way it lets you know it's opened itself. So let me just turn this off, go and walk away, back to the service station and walk back to it and then film it. Right, so here we go, I'm parked over here. There we go, look, lights light up. And you know that you're close enough that the doors are going to open and the courtesy lights come on. And you hear it unlock when you put your hand in, welcoming me. Oh, I have to enter my PIN now. There we go, let me just turn the weight. There we go, seems to be, yeah, I like that, nice little security feature. So this particular services has a charging point I noticed. I'm going to do some studying of what the pricing is actually and how it would compare to if you were putting fuel in, diesel or petrol in a vehicle. I'm sure these things are way more expensive than you would would be if you were charging at home, as the fuel is way more expensive on the service stations. Oh, there we go. Let's turn that back on again. But it's good to know. And there's only 2 at this particular services, and one of them was being used. But had I needed to charge it, I could have charged it here. So anyway, I'm going to stop boring you now with this. I'm going to get myself home, and then tomorrow we'll go through the data of how well it did, try and work out what the cost of the journey was, how much electricity it used, how much would have been left on the length of that run. So I'm done for now. Catch you tomorrow. Right, back at THQ now. After yesterday's journey, I picked up my son from football, dropped them off at school, went to the gym, then came into work. So I've done lots of little short journeys, so I'm going to take you inside in a minute and show you how that's affected the range. But all in all, my concerns with range anxiety and some things I'd seen about on other people's videos, I don't think it's true. I actually think this is pretty much true to range. I don't think you get 250 out of it, but I think you'd certainly get the other side of 200. Which I found is absolutely fine. I still need to get a better understanding of how the charging points work across the country, but you know, like I noticed yesterday when I went to the services, they have a charging point, although it seems ridiculously expensive. I think it was like 65p a kilowatt, but I mean, only expensive compared to what you would charge these things to at home. Like, you know, I'll charge this I've got an off-peak tariff at home because I have solar and batteries. I would charge this through off-peak, which is considerably less, but energy prices are rising. It makes these things more to run, but they still are way more efficient than using a combustion engine. I posted some pictures of this on social media yesterday, and as always, there was some people that hated it like they did the T7. I get it. People don't like change. It's the same as when the T5.1 came out and the T6 and the T6.1 came out. Everybody hated it. This is a very different animal. This isn't trying to be any of those. I think VW have done an absolutely amazing job with it. I like the styling. It makes people smile. As I've been driving it or stopping anywhere, people want to come and talk to you about it, and probably because it's new and because it's bright yellow. And I don't think they're smiling because they're laughing at it. I think they're smiling because they genuinely think it's fun, and it feels fun to be in. It feels light and airy and bright. It's an absolute pleasure to drive, and I really like the way it looks. Don't like that first edition badge. I think it looks terrible. Lines don't add up with anything else, but we'll take that off. I assumed it would have electronic doors, which it doesn't. It's got manual doors with a soft close, and it doesn't have electronic boot, which is, I don't know. I probably would have gone for those extras because they're nice little extras. The other thing that the first edition doesn't have, which I was quite surprised by, it doesn't have that additional shelf there, which I think's pretty handy, because from what I've seen, the other ones have a drawer you can put your stuff in, and then you've still got all your extra shelf to put extra bits in. But I'll probably order them TPS. Right, I keep changing my mind on this one, but I can confirm I don't like these haptic feedback buttons. Didn't like them initially. I thought as I drove along I did like it, and as time's gone on I just discovered I don't like it. When you're trying to flick through things like the adaptive cruise control thing and limited, it just doesn't, there's a bit of a delay, and you don't feel like you're getting the response that you want from it. So I'm not a big fan of that. I can live with it, but yeah, much prefer to go back to an old style steering wheel. I actually have one of these haptic feedback steering wheels off a GT something to go on my T6.1, but this is confirmed I'm definitely not going to fit it. I like it, it looks great, but I find the functionality really annoying. I much would prefer buttons or this to be better and adjust the sensors and stuff. But anyway, so looking at that, 151 miles, 60 miles left, 28% of charge. Realistically, I do think this vehicle will get the other side of 200 miles on one charge. I'm going to plug this in now so it's got use for the weekend, but I will do a full range test in the future video and show you exactly, you know, the whole charge right the way through on a day-to-day basis. But I think this will comfortably get the other side of 200 miles, which I think is an acceptable range. Obviously, it's very much reflected by how you have your heating set. If you're setting it to demist your vehicle in the morning before you get in, you know, in the app you can set it so if I set off at 8 o'clock in the morning at 10 to 8, it will heat the seats for me, it will demist the screen, it will put all the air conditioning on and stuff, and that's all going to affect how much energy is used in the vehicle. But as it stands, 200 miles I think is an achievable range, which I don't think is bad at all. There is a longer range version coming, as we're told, and we're also told that there is a twin motor version, so that will certainly be very interesting. Just to talk about running costs really, to get an idea of that. So servicing costs are going to be a lot less on these because there's nothing really to service on them. There'll be a pollen filter and a few other bits, but you've got having no combustion engine. Oh, turn that now. There's no oil, there's no spark plugs, there's no cam belt or anything like that going to need to be done. So this actually came with a 3-year servicing plan from VW, but what that actually consists of, I don't know, not a lot. Road tax is considerably less. Running costs, obviously, so this isn't, quick calculations, this is an 84 kilowatt hour battery if you charge to full from empty. If I was charging it at home on my off-peak tariff, so off-peak economy 7 tariff, as most people that own electric vehicles will have, I pay about 16p, I think. So you're looking 13, 14 pounds to charge this to full, which is going to give you the other side of 200 miles, which I don't think is too bad. If you're using the service charges, that one I looked at yesterday was 65p a kilowatt hour, which is expensive. I'm sure some of the other fast charge systems throughout the country are cheaper than that, but they're always going to be more expensive. But if you're charging at home, as most people would, it's a cost-effective way to run a vehicle over the cost of fuel. Anyway, there we go. Hopefully you found this video interesting. Keep watching to see what we do with it. We have some plans, as I'm sure everybody does have with these, but we've got some ideas on making it look good. Certainly lowering is the next stage for us. Some styling, front styling, rear styling, possible change of colours, losing that first badge, don't like that. We have the boys over at iBack UK coming over next week to get this on the ramps, to get all the calculations to make a solo iBack collaboration lowering spring. We're working with Bill Stein to make a coilover kit for it, and obviously an air kit, which we've already started the development on that. We've had the rear bag plates designed, and we're working on the front damper at the minute to offer an air suspension kit for this as well. But it's all coming, and it's coming pretty quick, so bear with us. Windows, as I said previously, if you saw the other video, there isn't an option to have an opening window in the rear. Not really taking passengers on a long journey in this yet, although I took the children to school on it today. I don't know how that will be affected by not having a rear window, and I would think it's an aero related thing. Somebody commented on one of the videos, actually, that's why it would be that they don't have a rear opening window, because opening the window is going to reduce your range, I suppose, because of the drag. But I feel like there's a need for that, so we are currently developing a flush sliding window for these in OEM tint to go there. And then obviously there's that whole market that buy the cargo that want to convert them into combis or camper vans, so we already have in development full window sets in OEM tint and in smokes twint, as well as flush sliding windows there if people want to swap them out on their existing buzzes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do press that like button, it means a lot. Please do share it with anybody that may be interested or hates them and just wants to take the mick, and comment below, you know, let us know if you like it or don't like it, but so far we love it. Please do subscribe to the channel, ring that little bell to get notifications when new videos come out on this transporter. We probably won't do any more videos on T7s because they don't go down particularly well, even though I love it, and I will continue to say that because I do love it. So there we are, all done. As always, thanks for watching. Right, so one last thing, as promised, new wheels are in here. So James has come from Wheel Pros, tied in there, look. He's brought me my new wheels. So inside here are my new rotor forms to go on the ID Buzz. Let's have a look. Actually, we'll save that for the next episode.